fight the power like BITCHUTE.
What's the status, 3?
I'm good, just making the world a better place, that's all.
This goes out to all the brothers that lost somebody, and all the brothers who got brothers that's locked down, and sisters too.
Moaning for my people, got shot down in the street. Moaning for my brothers who got locked down in jail. Moaning for my sisters who've been constantly abused. Moaning for the children who the system have failed. Moaning for my people who are dying gone. We trying to be strong, but we know that life goes on.
Melodic war chamber, banger, 36 styles of danger. Murderers floating in the midst of perfect strangers. Killer arms with dawn, mobile with golden arms. Prophesize about the clap bomb. We drop bodily harm and shock razor. Who snitched the cops' neighbors? Big crack rocks invade your block major. Spots being taken, it's time for move making. Woo thugs breaking, they leave your stats vacant. Cream is the theme of this wicked world we breathing. Scheming while dreaming, I fantasize and squeezing. Zoning, thinking about case, I grab the phone and blaze off one of your dome, you're left moaning.
I take a walk through the park at night, living the black life, and while I'm stepping over crack pipes, everybody wants to get high, but nobody really wants to die. They only have fun for a season, but for what reason? Plus, who do you believe in? You drink 40s with the shorties, telling war stories. Some rebel and some give them glory, and fame is like a game in the streets. The players kicking game to the freaks. Crack buildings packed with black children, entrepreneurs producing stacks by the millions. The young kids, they want rings and things. The buildings is flooded up with things, but I stand strong like a black pope, gazing through the crack smoke. Repent from your pagan ways, I know your mind strays, but just listen to the phrase.
I'm moaning for my people sleeping out in the cold. Moaning for the youths who try to make it on their own. Moaning for my people starving all over the world. Moaning for my people lost their lives fighting war. Moaning for my people who are dying gone. We trying to be strong, but we know that life goes on. But there'll be moaning, weeping and crying out for pain. Lord, tonight I pray to you, oh, and will it end? There'll be moaning, the whole world, the whole damn world will be moaning. There'll be moaning, the whole world, the whole damn world will be moaning. There'll be moaning, the whole world, the whole damn world will be moaning. There'll be moaning, the whole world, the whole damn world will be moaning.
The Great Massacre, we fled to Africa in 70 AD, Babylon and Timbuktu, page 83, and all the lies about Afrikaners and Nostradamus, promise, atomic bombs, Saddam Hussein, whose name's not written in the book of life. This be the exodus out of flesh and lust, carnal-minded, abominable and blinded, blasphemers, adulterers and drug schemers.
There'll be moaning, the whole world, the whole damn world will be moaning. There'll be moaning, the whole world, the whole damn world will be moaning. There'll be moaning, the whole world, the whole damn world will be moaning. There'll be moaning, the whole world, the whole damn world will be moaning. There'll be moaning, moaning and weeping and crying. There'll be moaning, Lord, tonight I pray to you, oh, and we'll be moaning, there'll be moaning.
What's up? Top of the A, M, N, O, P. It's going to be 100 degrees. What did I read yesterday? The Fool? It was the Fool. And something else. It was the card 0 and 1. I think 0 is the Fool is 0. Obviously. That's why there's a 0 on it. And I think, yeah, the Magician is 1. And then 2 would be the High Priestess. That BJ ain't looking too good next to that High Priestess. But hey, that's what they want to call it. Yeah, man. Sometimes playing the Fool isn't a bad idea. That's how you could tell if people take advantage of you. Play the possum or the role of the Fool. Yeah, I don't know where that waterfall is, but I bet you Oregon is just as beautiful. Thank you, Flat Earth Nation. You know, Kimba was making a lot of good points yesterday, and that's why I love having her up. That's one of the reasons. She brings balance. And the more I look into a lot of these things, like chakras and how they line up planets and all that, it's no different from a religion. That's just what it is. You know, I still yet to find somebody show me these chakra points. You know, in real life with no cartoons. I know the heart. You can see that. See the third eye. There's got to be some sort of tech that can show these energy points. I'm not saying the energy points are fictional, but the way they present a lot of things has a religionist energy to it. Use a pendulum. Like the use of magic is in all religions. I know churches don't want to hear it, but a preacher will even admit, you know, they say, what do they say? A satanic beat has 3, and the Jesus beat is more like marching with the 2. It's all hypnotization, all of it. It don't matter what they want to name it. Jesus, Satan, it's all the same. It's all magic. Yeah, using alchemy. Yeah, we are all magicians. I agree with that. We are all witches and warlocks, whatever label people want to call it. We're all casting spells. Doesn't matter what language is used. It's a form to express what you're describing with sound. And then you can use sigils without sound, but you're still using energy when you're writing them out. But religions don't want to admit that, you know. They want to keep that secret. Because once a lot of these religious people find that out, like I said, they'll realize they got bamboozled, kept in the dark. What? I think the dark outdoes the light. And I don't mean that in a good or bad way. I just mean the dark. Yeah, the light shines in the dark, but the dark's everywhere. I think light isn't, how can I put it? I don't want to say it wrong, but if I sound like shit, my bad. I'm using my speakerphone. I broke my headphones. Like even science is a religion. This guy was saying that there's no evidence to prove we have a soul. Which in a way, I kind of can almost agree with that. In a way, for the fact that what's a soul or spirit energy, right? So, you know, how can somebody believe in evolution? Where's that proof? I mean, you can say we evolved from sperm into, but that's just taking shape of a frequency. So it is kind of like evolution. But I'm speaking on the monkey to man evolution. That to me is fucking hilarious. The day I see a monkey like turn into a human and start shaving and shit, and walking around speaking English and cooking dinner and shit, I want one of those pets for sure, man. I had to pull up this like it's even a possibility, man. We're genetic creations in some big genetic farm. That would be some detrimental news to take in for a lot of people. Me, I'd be like, I knew it. I fucking knew it. Like, I used to be big into those, I used to read every day, you know. I was like my grandfather, reading the newspaper every day. And horoscopes. Just that name, horoscope. The scope of it is horrifying. Alright, so no. Yeah, the Fool was 0. It says the Magus was 1. I guess cards are all different. Yeah, the Magician, okay. Duh. And 2 is the Priestess, which is here. Which is the Luna, the moon. It says, I'm just gonna do 2 cards a day. It should take about, I mean, I could do more, but I don't want to bore people to death. That's another thing, like, anyone can get a deck of cards and start pulling shit. I've watched several different videos just to see, to witness the different cards and the different energies people bring to the table. It's all the same. Whatever the card pulls, they swear, you know, God forbid you pull a bunch of bad cards, all that bad energy people say to you, it's kind of like, don't even speak that shit. So it says, where the priest is, yet thy skin is cool and pale in the moonlight. Not even night can cool the embrace of thine arms about me, nor darken the glistening silver white substance of our love. I close my eyes, and it shields them not. Rather, you grow brighter still. Your eyes lock on mine, unblinking and uneclipsed. Oh mother, oh lover, oh child. They love to do things in threes, I've noticed. The meditation color is blue infused with white. The Hebrew letter says Gemel, if I'm not saying that wrong, which means camel, from a root meaning to bear, to carry, implying mother symbolism as a verb, to wean or ripen. A camel is a means of effectively traveling long distances through dry and barren terrain, the mystical journey. The card name is Priestess, a form of priest chosen to convey a specifically feminine idea. Is from the Indo-European root per, basically meaning forward or through, and used in many extended senses such as in front of, before, first, chief, toward, around, important derivatives besides spatial ones, far, forth, further, so on. The esoteric meaning, the uniting consciousness. It is the essence of glory and the consumption of the essential truth of unified spiritual being, the tree of life. The Tifereth to Kether, as on the tree of life. The priestess is situated between 2 pillars, where a veil partitions the relatively outer from the inner. And the esoteric title is the Priestess of the Silver Star. The tantric and alchemical significance, the priestess, the vehicle or bearer of the word. Wait a minute. Where's the Empress? Yeah, the Emperor's 5. Where the hell's the Empress? Maybe I didn't download the Empress. That would be terrible. Right? Anyway. The Empress is the third card. I could have sworn I had the third card here. Guess not. I probably do somewhere. The Gimel is the mark of the beast, which they consider us to be. It's the 2 lines on the hand that makes an angel similar to 7, and it's the symbol used for NASA. And they like to use vectors in the military. NASA uses a serpent tongue as a vector. What's up, maggot? Yeah, I like that, man. Crystal, what would the B and the J be? Well, they say it's Boaz and Jakim. I think that's the name. And we all know what the other BJ is. The dual pillars represent the breath of the battery cycle. That's the breath of life. It's the flow of the energy that we inhale and exhale. Like, you know, I make my jokes with the Bible, but like I said, that book, if it's taught or expressed in the correct way, it's way more understanding than how it's used to pump fear into people. Like that video I played yesterday, that guy couldn't have said it any better. Did I erase that video? I hope not. Nope, this guy.
To be a consumer is to be a slave. It's just that simple. Under the umbrella called marketing, you need that burger, you need this shake, you need that outfit, you need this purse, you need this medicine from the pharmaceutical company, even though it's going to cause you to have heartburn, diarrhea, and all that. You need all that. That's why it's called television programming. Each channel brings a different frequency. Each frequency a different energy. Each energy a different vibration. Each vibration draws to you that which you'll focus upon. None of this is just by happenstance. They know what they're doing. So what do they bombard you with? Fear, lack, worry, disease. If you vibrate that continuously, by divine right and law, you must experience that. To be a consumer is to be a slave.
Be a consumer is to be a slave. And I watched this guy, he's from India, and he said, you people in America sleep the wrong way. And, you know, at first I'm like, what? But he said when people go to sleep, they have worries. They worry about paying bills. They just feel the stress when they sleep. And that's terrible. I start clearing my mind when I'm about to go to sleep. You know, I personally, through experience, know that when you could think yourself into sickness. You know, if you start to believe all this nonsense, you'll think yourself into sickness. That's why I think when people are told they're this and that from doctors, they just go to the shitter. You know, especially when you tell someone they only have this and this time to live, they go down the shitter quicker. I've witnessed it a couple times. I would take that very personal if a doctor told me some shit like that. I'd be like, who the fuck you talking to? Okay. Yeah, they be uploading them damn programs. That's why, you know, when I said yesterday it's not even worth talking about the topic, I meant not, you know, no disrespect to Kimba, but I was speaking on, you know, speaking out on my observations of the realm and the government. It's a fucked up conversation always. To look at the state of this realm right now, it's terrible. Yeah, my mother was the same way, Crystal. My mother, you know, for the most part, didn't put a TV in my room until, shit, man, I think I was like 14. And even then, I would only watch certain cartoons or, you know, like basketball games here and there. Never had cable, was always outside. Even people would tell me Walkmans. They'd be like, yo, that Walkman is going to throw frequencies at you. And I didn't get what they were talking about. I was the type to always have a Walkman, a Sony Walkman, with music, always playing, whether I was shooting basketball all day at the court. I didn't realize what I was doing to myself. I didn't realize the programs that you're uploading when you constantly listen to negative music. It'll program you. I mean, I have a phone, which is probably even more detrimental than the TV. Like, when they start saying it don't matter if your phone's off, like, they have devices where you could turn your phone off and they could still hear your conversations. Like, that's wild, man. To me, the solution would be let's break all our phones. But who's gonna do that? Like, that's what's frustrating. At least when I was growing up, my teenage years, people would come together for a common cause. You could actually, I'll use gangs as an example. You could get them to come to the table and fight for a common cause. But nowadays, good luck. Good fucking luck. Yeah, Biggie was a weird dude, man. Like, and he wasn't even all that lyrical. Like, people be on his nuts, just dangling like he's some fucking lyricist. That's, you know, he was good. I'm not gonna say he was trash. He was way better than a lot of other lyricists, but that's why I like the RZA. I mean, somebody had told the RZA that he don't make real music. So, you know, whatever that did to him when they said that, the double album, Wu-Tang Forever, he used orchestras, you know, violins. And I love that album. That was one of my favorite albums, the double album. That's when Biggie dropped his double album, Life After Death, which was a good album. I liked it more than the other album he put out, Ready to Die. Trying to get people in the community to I'm just waiting on somebody to send me their verse so I could finish this song that I got. I could piece everything together and work on it. So I already got every day I got lyrics laid down. I don't even need to really write. I could go in the studio and take everything. I could fucking take a line from every rhyme and create a new rhyme. I could do so much. I'm already prepared. I'm just waiting on a few other people. In a minute, I'm going to stop waiting and just go on. Your daughter's tied up in a Brooklyn basement. That's wild, man. Shit. You know, being signed to the Diddler, you never know what's possible. Remember that song by Method Man? Rock brought this up on one of his live streams from Helter Skelter. He said, I should remix that Method Man song, The Riddler, and do a Puff Daddy diss, The Diddler. And I said, man, that would be funny. The Diddler, 3-time felony offender, demented. That's hilarious. The Diddler. Somebody got to do that. To all warriors, it's time for a revolution. Give the government's all-seeing eye contusions. The far left or right, neither side I'm choosing. I'm all for the people. It's time to save yourself. You're waiting on illusions like Jesus gonna help. I said government crusades had us locked in exile. Blood samples, DNA, genetic modification, X-files, nanotech, microchips, uploading profiles, overload message sensors, blurring your optics. You think free choice, picking from their options. Take a deep breath, inhale this chemical concoction. Heavy metals and biotoxins. Political bullies think they can't be touched. I'm here to pull cards and call their bluff. I gotta finish that. I didn't even realize I didn't finish that. So today is Juneteenth Day. What a fucking joke. Happy birthday, Candy. Yeah, people die too young. When you said your birthday, it made me think of my mom. Was born in 1960. So young. 42 years old to pass away. It fires me up. Yeah. But I'm wrong, you know? If I want to avenge my mom's death, I'm the bad guy, right? I'm wrong. No, you should just walk away and let it slide. Again? And no, I'm not one of those psychos like JG tried to state that, you know, I would never do a stupid fucking move like that. That's just not a winning situation. That's the stupidest fucking move you can make. You might as well just shoot yourself in the head. "21." And then you got people having those abortion. I mean, I don't understand how people could do that. To me, that's the worst of, I'll call it a sin, for lack of better words, or the most fucked up thing. Like, the child, People make options to have sex. To me, that's what sex is about, creating life, not a feeling, right? Yeah, it feels good and all of that, but it's about, you do it to create life. So the consequences are, you're going to create life. And people look at that as a bad outcome. That's a great outcome. Creating life is beautiful, but yet people look at it like, should I keep it or kill it? Like, what? It's wild. No wonder we're fucked over in this life. Yeah, I agree with that, Candy, because we're taught wrong. Even our parents didn't know no better because they were taught wrong. I mean, my mother kind of taught me what it was truly about, but in my teenage years, yeah, I wasn't walking around screwing anything that walked, but my friends would talk shit to me because I was like that, you know. I was very picky. What's wrong with that? What do people got planned for today? I don't have like nothing planned, no reading, pretty much an open panel. I don't really have set topics. It's hard to have a set topic. Like, it ain't hard, but I go live every day. I am, pretty mad that the way things are going, um, the way these people are speaking, there might not even be another president. I could see these people pulling some funky shit, man, just to keep this loser in power so they could walk all over him. They're just using this idiot to, he's so dumb, who knows what he'll sign, And that's, the people should have been came together and, it's not as hard as people think. Yeah, we don't need a president, and that would be sweet if people would come together and just denounce this cat, our president, and not pay no mind to him. Don't vote for him. Don't listen to him. But that's just like Biggie said. It's all a dream. Huh. That's the only place that'll happen. It's 10:45 p.m. Wednesday night. Here, where's that? That'd be a good dream. If fucking. I like that guy, Solo Yacker in Florida, the armed fisherman. That guy's awesome. There's a few people that, and like James Freeman, that go to these town meetings and actually reveal and show people the actual corruption going on. And then they file lawsuits against these people, which is awesome. If each state had a group of people filing these lawsuits, it would overload the court system. They would start to feel the people breathing down their neck. Australia. I would love to see a kangaroo. A joey. Shit, I would love to live in Mexico, in a village, down there in Ireland or something nice. Fuck, I heard for $200 you could live there for a year. But the way the American dollar's going, yeah, there's got to be a way we can get rid of these globalists. We don't want them here in America. I'm an American, whether people like it or not. And yeah, we don't want them globalists here no more. Be fired. Pieces of shit, all of them. We need to get rid of the far left and the far right. If we were such a united country, we wouldn't need all these different, because it's not united under one, it's fucking divided. You can almost, like, people like Clinton, Biden, all these people, you can pick out so much treason they've committed. Even judges commit treason every day, all day. You know, they're so quick to convict and chastise people when they need to look in the mirror and convict themselves. Like, you know, I understand people. I think a lot of people with excuses came up with the victim. Oh, you're being a victim because, you know, that's my opinion. They came up with that because they don't want anything to do with, because a lot of these people come from the early days in this so-called community where they were standing their ground and talking the talk, and then all of a sudden I see these excuses coming out. And that's fine, that's their choice, but I'm not going to stop being me for nobody. I'm always going to speak out against the governments. They could go out, burn in imaginal hell. Climate change. Climate change is funny. Just like those off the coast of Connecticut, they have wind turbines. What a joke those things are. I personally think America needs jobs. If I was president, I would tell China to go F theirself, take all this shit off our shelf, and start creating jobs where America produces their own clothes. You think China puts any of our products on their shelf? Hell no. Shit. I want to move also. I was going to go to Tennessee, but that don't look like that's happening. Yeah, not no more. I watched the downfall of America, 1998 and 99. I put an application in for Stanley Works Factory. I was doing what my grandpa did for a good part of his life and get me a little retirement. And they were laying people off and closing down Stanley Works, which was like ruined New Britain, Connecticut, destroyed it. But once factories start moving out, hold on. We had a minor league baseball team gone. They left. It was the Boston Red Sox Double-A team. Then it became the Minnesota Twins Double-A team, and then now no more. They moved to the capital, like 10 minutes away, and that was detrimental. There's like no more jobs besides McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts, like corporation. That's why I said mom and pop businesses are very important to this country, and we need to get that going again. Fuck these corporations. We need to bankrupt them. But that's all the dream too, because for some odd reason, when you speak to people, they don't want to hear it. Like, people probably come to my channel and they listen and they're like, oh, this shit, and then they go listen to fucking like Shannon Sharp and fucking Cat Williams. You ever notice when people in the entertainment business, whether it's sports or movie, if they say people be like, oh, they don't let you say my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ on TV. Of course not. If people are Satanists, why are they going to put their enemy or ops, let them say that on TV? It has nothing to do with AT&T. That's wild. Yup. You break your back for a corporation, and just like, joining the military, when you're all used up, they just throw you out. You got baseball players making more, like even politicians make more than a teacher. Like politicians shouldn't make all that money. They shouldn't be exempt from taxes. None of that. That's bullshit. Politicians should get no wages. They're supposed to be representatives of the people. Yet they do no service to the people, but fuck them over. My grandfather used to talk about his job. When he worked, he was able to support his wife, my mother, my aunt, and my uncle. And then as time went on, my grandma got sick. She passed away. My grandpa had to sell. I think he had 3 properties. He had to sell them. And, yeah. The country went to the pooper. The hell? Wow. The Garibaldi Castle in Russia is amazing. This castle right here is amazing. The Novgorod Kremlin. I lived in this castle right here. Huh. Shit, 550 cc's, that's quick to me. My bad. I had a phone call. Where? There's trolls in here? If trolls are like just trolling, constantly spamming, you know, you're allowed to snipe them on a timeout. You know, if they're just doing it to be pricks, after a while, snipe them. Put them on a timeout. What's up, Dom? How was your adventure the other day? I can't wait to go on my adventure. In about a week and 4 days. I got it all planned out to go on my adventure. Probably leave at like 4 a.m. and begin my mission. Today's pretty much open topic. Not pretty much, it is. Yeah, Dom, you can learn a lot from Dom in in his actions and how Dom handles situations. My observations of that have taught me a few things. It says in 1939, this is Project Ultra. from April 2nd, 1991. These classified alleged 17 pages were released. And it says shortly after Britain and France declared war on the Third Reich, the codename Ultra was conceived by the British MI6 and later the United States, the divided states, to denote sensitive intercept intelligence derived from cryptanalysis. Huh. The British high-frequency intercept initiatives focus on Germany's use of the Enigma cipher machine, a unit which the Third Reich thought to be totally secure and foolproof from foreign cryptanalysis attack. The case study is built on several books and articles about the advent of Ultra and the Enigma machine, and how sensitive intelligence was collected. Now, what the hell is this Enigma machine? The Enigma cipher. Let's look that up. Oh, it's a code machine. Ow! Now it makes sense. This is the Enigma cipher machine. I should have a call-in number. I would have to buy another phone for that. I don't like technology, man. Everything's too hackable. Your channel's hackable. Your phone's hackable. Digital money's hackable. Fuck, we're even hackable. Fuck. Hey, Dom, what's going on?
Hey Charles, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Myself, I'm doing well.
What was that?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well myself.
Get any good drone footage? Oh,
It was too much. Well, I flew the drone up there, but I can't say I got a lot of good ones because it was too windy for it.
yeah, I'm interested in getting a drone. That would be a good device to have to get, you know, certain footage that can't be reached.
What do you mean, sir? Like it can't be, what do you mean by it can't be reached?
Like cliffs, like getting to certain areas on cliffs. Like there's a lot of cliffs and spots that aren't accessible, you know, and I would love to have a drone to fly and get some close, you know, pictures and get to areas or even the top of trees. Like there's like eagle nests. It would be awesome to, like, if the eagle don't attack the freaking drone, it'd be nice to get some good shots.
True.
I don't think the eagle would be too happy, especially if it has babies.
It's a great view, bird's eye view to fly a drone. It gives you a lot of. It makes you aware of a lot of movies that actually you can start seeing that they truly are using drones. It's a tracking device. You know, I don't know if you know about it, Charles, but obviously the half decent ones you have GPS on it, so a lot of restrictions. Unfortunately, that's part of the game.
Oh yeah, I heard they're starting to. You got to register. You can only go so high. How true is that? That you have to register your drone?
Depending on it, yes. With a Canada in America, it depends on the weight. After a certain weight, like 250 gram, I think it is. Yeah, 250 gram, then you have to like write like a test. And even that, there's certain areas you're just not permitted to go unless you you know, get some sort of permit. You know, they just don't want. It's like driving a car. You just can't drive everywhere with it. But again, it's great technology. Even though I heard you just say a couple minutes earlier, it has its advantages and disadvantages. I remember years ago, a buddy of mine, he's in real estate. Went to chit chat with him for a bit, and he was on a computer, and I know he doesn't like computers because he's used to doing old school with the phone and all that. And he was just like, I hate technology. I looked at him and I said, so I guess you should get rid of your Mercedes. That's technology. We pick and choose. As we're on technology now, using the internet with these computers, phones, laptops.
Can you hear me clear?
I can hear you. I can hear you, Charles.
Trying to get, get everything ready to go and grab a few things from the store. Um, have you ever read the book that I was reading by any chance, Tom? It states it's the complete book of this alleged witchcraft. Um, reading the book, I never knew witchcraft was a religion for the most part, and you know, the more I read and upload these programs, the more I realize even chakras and planets and all that has become a religion. Even sciences, um, even politics is a religion in a way. But
The definition of religion, I guess, opposed to religious religion.
well, yeah, like religion, putting a deity or even an individual like a president or these politicians, they even present themselves to be above you when they speak. You know, they're on the stage, you're looking up to them, like you know they're above you. And deities, I have an issue with asking deities for anything. I don't understand the concept of asking an invisible deity for you know for anything. There's nothing there to ask a statue.
Well, it's a concept of worship. I use the word worship can mean work for. So if somebody's working for money and indirectly or directly that's attached to some entity or deity, then in a way you are directly or indirectly working for that. You know, to worship something, you know, to give it 100% would be to work for it. And a lot of us work for money. We exchange our energy for it. Does it bring the equal value? Probably more times than not, it doesn't. But as long as everybody else, or at least the majority of the masses are playing it, that's the game that we got to play. It's just being aware of the system. So if people value, go ahead.
How much energy that we all put into obtaining this money, to me, that really has no value.
Mm-hmm.
I spent countless time and energy to obtain money. Huh.
Mm-hmm. Well, if people didn't work for money, Charles and you say you love the craft of making music, how would we convince a whole bunch of people to make instruments, let alone buy the end product? It's just the system that we're in. We're in this realm. And once you're aware of it, because unless you're no longer in that vessel, you know, that vessel needs food. Some still have the ability because they choose to, or they've inherited the ability to, you know, farm the land, hunt, and all that, and then it can sustain for that vessel. But outside of that, Charles, again, I'm just sharing awareness. I know a lot of people want to have an answer. They have an axe to grind with something or someone. I don't know how that serves. Again, if you're talking about energy. Okay, I think you were asking a question earlier. No, I have never read that particular book. Thank you for reading it. It resonated when I started hearing some of the words that were coming off the page and through your mouth.
Yeah, that's why I read a lot because I do resonate. Even though I cherry pick out of these books, um, because I see a lot of these books are just seeing an experience, or it's like looking through someone else's eyes. Um, and in ways I do resonate with stuff that's said. Resonate, relate, whatever word, we can use. I, and I also realize looking within self, you'll find the best answers. Clearing the mind, sitting in silence and searching within self for these answers, to me, is the best way.
That's Charles, I guess it depends on one's intent. The axis we're talking about that recently privately on intent. If your intent is looking for answers, then you're not looking for the process or the details, which is fine. But in the realm that I'm going to call spiritual realm, it's going to have to pick and choose how do we give what they want. Because what you want, lack, more times than not, some people lack answers. Some people lack details. Some people lack awareness. And then again, what do you want to do? Do you want to manifest it into the physical? Which a lot of people do, because that's part of the indoctrination. Why talk about going for a walk if I'm not going for a walk? Well, because you can. You're practicing talking about it.
I feel the same. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, what did you get from when you read the book? Because when people are hearing it, they're engaging in many receivers. The person that's reading it is, unless they're able to open up a lot of their receivers, are only going to perceive it from certain ways. So what did you get from it when you were reading it? Because, there's no chance. But
the first thing I realized is I never knew witchcraft was a religion. And then I found out it was the oldest religion. Me personally, I think at one point, this whole realm practiced a form of witchcraft. And I also realized religions desecrate witchcraft for the most part because it would reveal that religions are practicing the same thing, witchcraft. But I also realized when they talk about like the meditation, what I've read and a lot of other things I read, there's a lot of connections. People are saying the same thing through experience. I realize other people are experiencing the same things I do. And I've also been interested in, creating my own, what is it called? I think it's called a shame, which is a knife, and creating your own instrument to use when you're practicing rituals, which I have yet to do any magic rituals, but because I don't know enough. And if I'm not well versed in it, I don't want to dabble in something that I don't know what I'm doing, I don't want to fuck around and find out the wrong way. But as far as like casting the circle, and I'm just learning a lot of knowledge itself. I don't have teachers in that department, so I guess it's going to have to be trial and error don't want errors for the most part in certain ways.
So what I'm hearing, Charles, that's kind of like direct energy and magic. When you sing and the tonality in your voice, you're doing indirect magic. You're still doing magic. You know, religion is this one part, and all the other branches from it. State is another form of worshiping, witchcraft. Same with commerce. You know, think about people that play the shape of the earth and all that. They're actually doing indirectly witchcraft. The language we're speaking is witchcraft. Spellings. Now, I guess it depends on how somebody wants to perceive it. They want to pick a side. They don't want to stay balanced, so they think it's either right or wrong. It serves or doesn't.
Because I've heard one day you and Axis was having a conversation on, I would say, trapping energy in the circle, or I think Axis was speaking on. And he had a few experiences, in which the reason why he don't want to teach it, and I think, I don't want to misquote him, but I think that's what he was saying. I still lack the evidence to prove you can trap energy in a circle. I'm trying to think how that works when you draw up a circle. How are you trapping the energy in that circle?
Well, you know,
Is it
go ahead.
Is it the actual circle, or is it your energy? Are you drawing it out? Is it creating a barrier of your energy?
If there's a forest fire and it circumferences a circle, isn't it somewhat trapping energy? Again, it comes down to what does one perceive as energy? Is air energy? Sure it is. Is thoughts energy? Yes. It's just that a lot of it, the senses cannot pick up. This is why it's beyond the senses. Because the senses, as long as a person really puts a lot of effort to understand how the senses works and how it serves, then you'll realize, should I also find out its limitations? Sure you should. You know, but the challenging part is a lot of people would have to, if not a lot of people, someone would have to humble themselves enough, because it can't be about them. As long as you make it about you, you're going to limit yourself. That's why, you know, when people say it's not personal, well, you better make sure it's not personal. But if it's still personal with them, they might not care about other people. That's a given trait of a self-absorbed person. They'll say shit like it's not personal. Yes, it is. You wouldn't be trying to get somebody upset or hurt if it wasn't personal for them. It's when they choose to become non-attached, even to themselves. But then that would imply that they actually did the work and kind of understand what is the self. Most people, whether they know what Charles, are just looping. Now, they might make it about me. I say, but that's interesting when a self-absorbed person makes it about anybody else but them at that moment. That's a defense and attack. Unless some people, and they do enjoy, they want to learn better how to exist in this material realm, which is fine. A lot of people, and I still do it. It's just that because we have technology, we see what other people have been able to obtain, and then some people become envious or jealous. I don't know what it is to be a trillionaire. I don't know what it is to be an athlete that can run a certain amount of distance in a short period of time. I've seen it. Doesn't mean I understand it. And even if I just understood it, I said, I can keep practicing. I don't have that gift. That's being humble. Where other people, no, I'm going to force my will. I said, okay, that makes sense because you've never been able to give your will up to another source beyond you. But a lot of people aren't interested in hearing that kind of stuff. They want to hear that program that's already running in their head, and they want to actually unite with other people that want to play, whether it's called a drama, religion, belief systems. So that's
I feel
I thought you said it, but I was just gonna say I don't feel drawn to Christianity. I don't feel drawn to Islam. I've looked into all that and a lot of other things. You know, I feel more drawn to the practice of witchcraft, and people could have a field day with that. But
Are you drawn to rap?
huh?
Are you drawn to rap? Are you drawn to the lyrics that raps can obtain?
Yeah.
So you're
Or
in
the
a religion.
vibration.
You're in a religion. You're in a religion, and you practice it religiously. There's nothing wrong with that, Charles. Just being aware is when we start pointing, or other people point fingers to other people without truly understanding that individual. Forget about the group of it, because that's another beast all by itself. They're not ask a rapper, do you really understand the lyrics that you're talking, let alone the sounds and frequencies and what actually motivates you and how it affects other people that aren't even around now? Probably not. It's self-driven. That's what religion does. That's what state does. It's just being aware. I'm sharing awareness. I'm not sharing if it's right or wrong. I agree or disagree, likes and dislikes. That's me now. That's what I've chosen to do. I am no different than you'd like to sing, or in this case, do lyrics, do poetry. We can see the commonality in everybody once we become aware of oneself. The rest of it's just noise. When I say noise, we're making excuses for our behavior, our personalities. But it has to be an answer, Don. Oh, okay. What was the question? Did you ask the right question? And how vague was that question? I want to be rich. Well, what type of richness are we talking about? Well, you know what I mean. I said, no, this is your wish. What are you asking for? And then if the person becomes rich, then what are you going to do with it? Well, I'm going to buy a car. So you're counting on other people to build you that car. We become very clever, Charles, when we jump into these forms. Almost moronic, if I may say so. It's a word that probably resonates for me anyway. I can't speak on behalf of other people, but I do pick up energy from other people, and I realize, interesting.
Like when you pass two magnets by each other, you're either gonna deflect the energy or you're drawn into it.
Or you could be strong enough in the middle, and then all of a sudden it does a circular motion, because those magnetic forces cannot pull to each other enough. Like to squeeze you, it just keeps doing a circle. Then we can start talking about the sun and the moon. And then we can talk about the earth. Is it on a disc? But again, how would that serve somebody if they knew, oh, well, now I can tell the flat earthers were on a disc. I can tell people that that's not heat up there, that's a crystal. How would that serve? At least the people that are in those academies, whether it's NASA and all that, they can turn around and say, yeah, but I'm looking for money, so it does serve me. Whether it's the truth, some story, some deception, some imagination. People always want to have a clear cut. It's either the truth or it's a lie. Or if you know one, you must know the other.
If you allow everything in this world, and mainly these devices, to work for the good of you, it will all lead you back to yourself. Every last piece of it. Every person, place, thing, it will all lead you back to you. That's what I'm noticing over here. Whether it's my device, this person, this business, it all comes down to just us. So like for me, I'm noticing everything is bringing me back to me. It's bringing me back to me. And for some reason, I'm feeling like the internet is in place for a lot of this too. It's bringing a lot of us back to us. And then when it brings it, I'm spitfiring over here, okay? This is what I go off with my third eye when I pick up things. It's all bringing it back to us. And if we're all brought back to us, the leaders or whoever are going to be like, how do the people feel with themselves? How are they sitting over there with themselves? How are they feeling about themselves? That's, to me, is when they're going to come in and be like, okay, y'all don't know what you're doing. You're all sitting over here and doing this and doing that and doing that. And that's why I'm over here trying to control my thoughts, because I think that I have a feeling that's in play. Like they're just like, oh, how good can you guys control you guys? Okay, not too good. You all pissed off, mad. Now we're gonna rush in and bring in the, the thing in. I think that's a little clever. I think that's what they're doing. And to me, it's comical in my eyes. It is. And honestly, I'm not even looking through these eyes anymore. And when you're ready, I'll bring up another deeper subject. I'm not even looking through these eyes anymore. I'm looking through this eye.
What?
I'm not even looking at things a lot.
You're cooking, man. Keep going. I'm walking up the street. I'm listening, but I'm not unmuted the sound.
Okay. Good, Charles. Let me bounce this off of Dom. You'll probably even know too. I'm not sure. I noticed yesterday for me. It's been the last couple of days, but mainly yesterday. We're big antennas, we're energy, whatever word we use, okay? I don't want to get caught up on the words here because my words aren't even completely there yet, And I'm fresh out of bed and haven't used my medicine yet. So I noticed that the quieter my mind got, the quieter I got. And I stopped fighting, first and foremost, myself, me. It gets quieter around you. I mean, the environment and everything. I experienced it 2 days in a row now because I got over some hurdle where I feel like I see a little tiny pimple of light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? So I gotten over a little hurdle. Like things are progressing in my neck of the woods over here, my family and everything. And now that I got over that hurdle, and maybe I'm about to answer my question, when I go over the hurdle, things got a lot more quieter. So sitting out here yesterday, I'm like, I already picked up that me, when I come out in my yard, I already picked up how quiet it is all the way around. But as soon as I amp up my energy, everyone starts to come out and work. I've been picking this up for like a year or two now. And I'm like, oh, wow. But the last 2 days, I've been coming out here. And because I haven't been so silly and goofy, and my energy has been, real high and off the chain, even around me has been quieter. So I'm over here like, so the quieter I am, if my thoughts, is that going to make things around me more quieter? So then now I'm going even deeper. I'm like, have I been arguing with my family, doing all this time, and it was me? Yeah, that's when you really got to take personal inventory, right? And I'm like, was it me? And I'm over here saying, no, you guys, and I want you to do this, and this is corrupt, and they're going to do this, and the school's going to come. And I was like a lunatic over here. You should see my mom. I'm going to take my niece out of school. As soon as the teacher calls me and they start that, oh, she probably has ADHD, want to get her tested. I said, guess what? She coming home. I'm homeschooling her. I said, I already looked into it. My mom's over here like, calm down, kitty. She's like, calm down. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm just here on standby. Because when it happens, I'm gonna go right in. I said, I'm not playing. There's no talking. I'm not doing with my son. I'm not taking her to get tested for like a year to say, you got this. No, take pills because we can't control them. I said, we're not going down that aisle with my niece. I said, I will snatch her out of school so quick and hand them their ass on a golden plate. So my mom's over here like, slow down. But I realized as soon as I stopped fighting all that I wanted to fix and correct, it got quieter around me. Even the people stopped fighting. Oop, there goes my cookie. See, it flew out of my hand. I noticed they all started getting quieter. And they stopped fighting. Well, I'm a kid, so they stopped fighting. I stopped fighting them. I stopped fighting myself. In turn, things got quieter. Can anyone relate? Because I'll keep going. Can anyone relate to that?
Kimbo, the word that comes to me about you is an endearing word. You're cute. I love it. But you say a word. Mm-hmm. You're saying my thoughts. What does that mean to you when you say the word my thoughts?
How I perceive it.
So right? Are you perceiving the thoughts or are you owning the thoughts?
Am I owning them or perceiving them?
Yeah.
Well, I would. Nah, I don't know.
Okay, well, you should be honest. You're being honest.
Yeah, that's
Silence
tricky.
is not about talking. Silence is within, when you can either experience them or observe them. It's not about whether or not they're negative or positive things. It's when a person says, well, that person's talking stupid. Yeah, I'm inwards. I'm not going to react to it. I'm just going to observe it. That's silence. Now, when you manifest it in the physical, it comes in the form that people have to write about it. They got to talk about it. But what most people do, they get caught up in their likes and dislikes. Well, I don't like hearing about, things that are negative. In this case, something that's not doesn't serve me, opposed to others. This is why when you go into a state of silence, that's an internal silence. You can be in the presence of noise and still be in silence. That's how the mind works. Now, the fact that you want a thought, you're receiving a thought through the mind, through the brain. Now, if you want to quiet it, then you have less requests from within. What am I going to do tomorrow? This is a thought that somebody has. You don't have to say it out loud. Well, you're not really, and then you can just go quickly into silence and observe. There's nothing to be done. Whether it, I got to go to the store or not go to the store, that is a state of silence. Hence, peace be upon you. Be upon you. Most people get caught up in constant noise going on. And that noise can come in a form of, I got to make sure I take my kids to school and all that. Yeah, you can be in that. You don't have to say it out loud. And even if you don't say it out loud, our stress is usually an internal one, not the external one. Those are just people that are at a different level of being stressed out. It's like people that are narcissists or psychopaths. Those are just people that are that much more underdeveloped with their emotions. But the rest of the people are underdeveloped too, because they're going around saying, well, he's a psychopath. Well, how does that serve you to say that out loud, let alone having that thought? Hence the word Kabbalah, receive. You're receiving information. It's nice to talk about it, but eventually when you stop talking about it and you go into that state of silence, I choose to break my silence. But I know how to go right back into it and say, okay, I'm in thoughts now. Do I agree or disagree with what said? That would be me not being in silence, because now I'm actually trying to judge it. Opposed to just observe it. That's interesting. I'm glad that she shared that information, because she's giving me her perception. I'm never going to live your perception. Even though I might look at something else and then pull out of the ether the word, oh, she's saying the word sun. So I'm going to look at an object that she says she's looking at. But I'm not experiencing your experience. I'm experiencing mine constantly.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, because we're supposed to be writing our own little story, living our own little story and stuff. So, okay, all right.
And you're living it within a thing called life.
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to words. I hear people say the word my life opposed to in life. Some people say those words so differently in so many different ways. I said, but do you catch which one is it? Because then you have to at least try to break it down. Okay, it's my life. Okay, so do I control air, prana? No, I don't. Do I control the air and prana that goes into a dog? No, I don't. So what is that thing? And then you can start probing inwards. That's when you have to go and you have to learn that practice silence, because something inside is going to say, okay, you've done a prayer, you've inquired. Now, please get into a state of silence, peace. And then people get into a state of what's called meditation. Then you start listening from within. And then all of a sudden now we can communicate. Then your third eye can communicate with those two other eyes. Opposed to, I'm going to denounce one. That's like when people say, I'm going to kill the ego. No, you have to work with the ego and then choose to give up in those moments your will for some other will. Now, you should still be able to ask questions. But most people don't ask questions with receptiveness. They ask it with cleverness. They already know their answer. So then you're looking for validation then. You're not looking for, say, listen, Dom, should I go up that tree or not? Well, what do you want to do? Well, I'm scared of going with the tree. Then why did you ask me the question then?
Right.
That's cleverness. And it doesn't matter what age you are, because the vessel is aging. I could be talking to a 9-year-old and like you're still thinking like a child. And you're actually going to react with your underdeveloped emotions. This is why when people play with their concept of feelers, it's usually underdeveloped emotions and underdeveloped mental capacity. Even though they might have great diarrhea of the mouth, it's still cleverness, especially when you're talking to a whole bunch of people. Even myself, I realize that it's a different level of awareness. When I say a level, it can come in a form of, I've chosen to sit in it and not feel as though I have to justify for other people. I'm my own student. So when I talk out loud, this is me hearing me. Whether people want to receive it or not, that's on them.
That's on, yeah.
because I don't own the language. So when I'm playing with words, I'm just changing them around. It's like the word self-love opposed to loving the self. If you go inwards and say, yeah, they're different energies, like writing with your right hand opposed to your left hand, talking in French opposed to speaking in Latin. It's different energy. But people, when they think of energy, they think about what their senses are only picking up. It's all about me. I said, okay, then you've never left that vessel then. Now, if they turn around and say, no, I've done remote viewing, I said, that's another can of worms. We could have a conversation. Who's the one that's doing the remote viewing? Now, they might not know. I said, then why would you tell me you do remote viewing then? Outside of entertainment, I could turn around and tell people I'm a trillionaire. Okay. Especially if most people don't like the details. They just want the answer. Oh, he's a trillionaire. Okay, so then they're going to quickly think, okay, what can I get from him? I said, you're just revealing your agenda probably more times than not. You know, that me can be turned upside down to a we, but that we, is it an external thing or an internal thing? These are questions, Kimba, that anybody can ask from within if they're ready. But if they're trying to force their will, I still want to make sure I'm the best parent. I said, well, let's humble yourself a little bit. I didn't teach them how to breathe, so that's beyond my scope. I didn't teach my children once they eat their food how to digest it within their system. So once the parents realized that, I said, my job is very limiting. Yes. The universe, whatever you want to call it, is doing so many different things. How many times a mother, you might even can relate to this, would say, listen, I'm picking up my child in another part of the world who's feeling sick. I said, because we have receivers. And we can pick up that if we choose to. Well, before you pick up a phone, I know a friend's calling me.
Oh, God, those windows came in here. Dom, what you just do to my house? The wind just blew in here. Right, like crazy. Slow down there, Dom.
I didn't do
Slow
nothing.
down.
I didn't do nothing.
I know. Because, you know, I'm just, you're cooking and I'm over here and this big, huge wind gusts come in. I was like, whoa.
I always like I like to be human. When people say I'm cooking, what are we cooking? Like vegetables? Are we cooking sausages? Are we cooking bark trees or something?
My brain's cooking. Yeah, my brain's cooking with thoughts. Okay, so Dominic, the word, I want to bring this back to what Charles was saying before I came up here. Like, I know Charles will ask a lot, like Charles, and I do too. I do, about the thing when you, like, the manifesting and all these fun little terms and asking for things and truly believing in it and having the evidence, you know, all those fun little words or whatever. I just came up with the word. You have to really want it, I would say. Like you said, Dominic. Like for me, I'm going to share for me. I had to reach a point in my life where I was like, literally like, I can't take this no more. Like I was just like, I'm over it. Done, gone. My family's seen it. I've been sitting on my lawnmower. It would break down. I'd be like, burn the bitch. And I'm going in the house. You know, I'm like, everything can burn around me. I don't care. Going in the house. And Mom was like, but you're leaving the lawnmower. I was like, I don't care. When I've had it, I've had it. And I've had those moments where I'm just, you know, one of those moments where you're kind of like, God, you know, even though, you know, you're not being silly. God, you know, you want to do that. Please come rescue me and get me on out of here. I have to reach those moments. And when I reach those moments, I realized for me, that's when the stuff started to come in. That's when it really started coming, when I started to ask. It probably because, like you said, I was ready. I was trying to find the right word in there.
Okay, well, what entity are you calling me? Because I'm going to change the word. What do you lack in your existence? That's what wants are, opposed to needs. So a need would be something totally different. So it might be different entities that will come there and they say, we already know what you need. You just have to ask. But if you're wanting your wants, relax. Most people are lacking financial gain. I said, so then you don't need food. Well, yeah, I do. I said, directly or indirect way. See, most of us are being conditioned. We want our comforts. So I don't have enough cars, for example, or somebody says I don't have enough drones. Those are lacks. Those aren't needs. So now if we're talking about demons or angels, which one serves which one? One serves needs and one serves wants. You know, people could say, Dom, I don't have enough money. I do not have enough money. I said, okay, so how would you obtain money? You want to pray to an unknown entity? Okay, no problem. But they're going to ask something in exchange for that because you're not going to put that much effort. And if the entity has to put most of the effort, guess who you're serving at that point? It might even come to a point where it might be too much of a mastery slave going on, opposed to a dual thing. You got to commit to it, to things. And it can come in many forms. You can commit as a parent. You can commit as a drug addict. You know, some of the best people that have learned about how to work with energies are probably committed to doing all kinds of brain altering things like meth or whatever. But now you're serving something at that point. You know, does money serve us or do we serve it?
We serve it.
Okay, now unfortunately some people say money is it's for this realm. I'm like, okay, parts of it. Why? Because animals don't work for money, trees don't work for money. Again, that's a person that's so engulfed in their own little world, they can't see outside of it. What they're doing is they're monitoring it with a protect mechanism. I don't want to be hurt. I said, well, who's the one that would get hurt in the first place? The vessel itself, yeah, most of us are already harming the vessel, you know, in so many different ways. And then there's a lot of things we're harming ourselves unaware, such as we have all this technology, it's bombarding this vessel. Now, some people say, yeah, but I'm not dying from it. I said, no, you're aging quicker. So that means you're going to be jumping into that vessel sooner than later. Well, I don't believe that. I said, there's another program. You said the word belief. What is a belief? A belief is something like when somebody says the word Jesus or Socrates. I can only apply a belief system because I've never met the character. But even if I did, what story was written about him, let alone did they write anything? Because that's something I can apply discernment to the teachings. Regardless if it was a demon that rewrote that, I can only apply discernment to that information. But most people already come in, I've already been culted up. What team am I going to join? Don't join any team because you're already on a team within. I'm using cliche words like culted. You know, got to talk community talk. You know, culted up. I'm culted up. I said, you've been culted up with a language.
I was going to say, be careful, Dom. You might get marked out there on BB2B streets. I was kidding.
Sorry, what's that? No, honestly, go ahead. We don't want to get marked up.
No, I was going to say, be careful out there using that word cults. You might get labeled out there in the streets.
They can.
Yeah.
But when people speak, like when I say things like, I'm an idiot, or it's better to call myself an idiot because when I call somebody else an idiot, guess who's the bigger idiot? It's me.
Yeah.
So when somebody calls somebody else's culted up, what do you think that's saying about them?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, those are the kind of individuals that are living in a glass bubble. Be careful the rocks that you're falling from within because it's going to bounce back to you. And then it's never satisfying. You know, that's why when I hear people talk about words like narcissism, sociopath, or psychopath, fuck everybody at any given moment can practice those kind of energies. But do they serve? If I was going to be a big COO in a big corporation, how do you think it would work if I was this kind, considerate human being when the masses are just don't even know themselves? It would be a struggle. It would be an endless amount of money I would have to keep feeding them over and over again or praising them. That would be ridiculous. For me, it would be. But for other people, they'll live a whole lifespan that way. You know, I've always said turn inwards. Who are the people that are with these characters? How underdeveloped are they?
Witnessing characters.
Yeah, we are characters. We're characters in a play, and we're all actors and actresses with scripts.
Yeah, you said witnessing. That word stuck out to me. You said witnessing characters.
Isn't that the story of a guy named Jesus? Was he not the witness?
I don't know. I don't know a lot about that. So.
Okay, well, no different. It could be talking about the Buddha. You know, it's like, you know, again, these are all stories from our perspective. From another person's perspective, it's a story. So, Kimba, you could tell me all the amazing things that you did. You might use the word real, but for me, it's still a story.
Yeah, because it's my perception. Yeah, exactly.
It's still a story. I could have been right beside you, but it's your story, especially if you're speaking it or you're writing it down.
So it's like just a bunch of characters sharing perceptions.
Yeah, and they
a bunch of characters sharing perceptions. Oh, that's interesting, right?
And where are they all being stored? You know, in the blood, in the concept called the mind, manifest, mind meant man, manifest with the M-A-N, not M-E-N. You know, again, I'm playing with words. I enjoy playing with words.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah. You know, it's like symbols. You play with symbols. Maybe you can create a whole different type of symbols that a lot of people don't understand, and now that becomes what I might call it a soul data. So now mind will say, oh great, they were able to mix different kinds of things and have different ways to communicate. It now takes that information. It's stored now. It's not ours to keep. That's why when people say, when I come back here, I don't remember anything. I said, yeah, because that data stays here. And if you did some work in a previous lifespan, you might be able to recoup some of it. Because then we would have to question, well, if that's the case, then is that where all language is stored? Yeah, then you have to learn another craft. So I got to learn how to speak English. Or if I put a little effort, learn how to speak Latin. Or I learn numbers, colors, body language. I can learn maybe American Sign Language. That's already stored. It's for us to bring into, pull down, and embody it. Think about people that do American Sign Language, what that must do for them, where they're using all their finger symbols, where they're trying to communicate. Mantras, not mantras. Hindus do that. Yep.
Well, that's interesting when they do that. Yeah, if they're hitting all the energy. I never thought about that. When they do the sign language, they're hitting all the energy points. They are? I think so. Yeah. K, L, M. Well, I don't know. My fingers are all messed up, but yeah. Okay.
No different giving the intent with the middle finger. That's energy and all of that. Again, it's.
Really?
Yeah. Well, think about the intent. You know what somebody's implying when they give you the
intent. Finger. Okay.
Yeah,
the intent. Okay.
But at the same time, we're in training the body with that gesture. Think about when people that do acupuncture. We store a lot of stuff into the vessel. It can go deeper, meaning that you can say that we're also storing it in other bodies, whether it be emotional or mental body. But for a lot of folks, we've never been truly trained or conditioned in those ages those child-yearing ages, so that we understand the first 7 years, the physical development years, the emotional development years, the mental development years. The brain, again, for most of us, don't develop till 25. So there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's already occurred before that. So now we're flopping, we're like fish out of water when it comes to communicating with each other. Now, if a person takes a reflection on how they communicate with other people, that's how they're going to grow. But by pointing fingers and saying, well, this is what this person did, well, especially if they're a Christian, isn't that the whole story of the Bible at the beginning? They were too busy pointing fingers. I didn't hear the serpent complaining. It could be very vengeful, but I didn't hear it complaining. Now, these are just stories, but how do they serve? I could tell a story of Mickey Mouse and somebody says, oh, that serves me. Why? Because I can build a platform based on that story. People like cartoons. People will go out of their way in fiction, which is fine. But that's not real, Dom. The fact that you're looking at it and you're looking at it with your waking state senses, that's what most people call real. Plus, you also, Kimber, you play with other energies. You play with a singing bowl. That's energy. That's an energy work.
The singing bowl. I was going to say, I'm already doing a lot of energy work that I didn't even realize I was. Besides what I'm already doing, I'm aware of. I'm already doing other energy work that I'm not aware of.
Mm-hmm. You are. If you're gardening, there's energy and all that. You're walking through air. That's energy work, whether you know or not. A lot of the stuff that we do on this plane affects on that unknown or above plane. In this case, the clouds.
Maybe I was going to say, maybe that's why I had to go change my. I'm over here sweating literally. So I'm trying to get all this crap out of my body. Mm-hmm. And between me thinking and all that, I was on fire over here. I was drenched. So.
You're detoxing.
Yeah, exactly. So detox, I just forgot that thought. It will come back.
Cooking. I could smell that hair.
What?
I really smelled bacon, but I was in the store.
Oh,
Okay, with wine.
so Dom, I was gonna say maybe now again. This is my. I just spitfire my thoughts. Okay, you know I never want people to take it the wrong way. Like, oh, you think this and this and that. Hey, hold on a second. Hey, hey there, Pee Wee, come here. Come here. Okay, all the dogs go crazy. Let me.
Charles is wearing his Celtic jersey. Celtics won their 18th championship. Go ahead, sorry, Ken.
Man, such beautiful. I love inhaling this stuff.
Do some cloud
They really
busting.
did. What was that?
I was going to say, Charles, do some cloud busting. Pick a cloud. So see if we can do some cloud busting.
Huh.
Cloud busting, right? So
Is it
Dominic.
like that?
Okay. Oh, sorry, Charles.
Are they spraying the air where you guys are?
No, go ahead, Charles. Go ahead.
No, I just said, are they spraying in Florida?
Oh, are they spraying? No, actually here it's all cloudy. It's like 2 or 3 days in a row. It's been all cloudy, puffy clouds. Not a lot of spraying, but puffy clouds everywhere. Like you can't see the sky at all. It's blanketed with puffy clouds. But Dom, so let me ask you something. So I've been over here due to all my meltdowns and stuff, I've been ready, willing to just receive and take in what I need to survive this thing called life. I'm thinking maybe I was running around and all this energy work I'm doing helped to bring in what I'm able to do now. Because I discussed this with Candy, Candy down there in the chat a lot. And I was like, when my whole life, I basically was a couch potato. If I wasn't working, I was watching TV and sitting in front of the TV. I just had a thing with that. I was engrossed in the TV. Because to me, the TV and the movies seemed more realistic. And here we are today, right? So something always spoke to me through the movies. And me and Candy talk about this. When she was younger, she did a lot of the moving around. And I didn't. So I'm thinking now as I'm sitting here, I try to wrap my head around, where am I getting all this energy from? How am I I'm 50. I got nerve day, all this stuff. And I'm like, but I'm still able to run around here like no one's business and get stuff done faster than I had before. Like I'll plan something out in my head and I go out and I do it so fast. I'm wanting to cook. I'm throwing my alchemy into everything. It's like I feel like I asked for certain things and I got it. But now I'm thinking more, maybe because I've already been doing the energy work, maybe I picked up my energy.
So what are you asking? Things are coming to me, but what are you asking?
Maybe. Hold on. I'm moving too fast over here already.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're 50. Yeah. 50. What comes to mind is whether you did the year of release at 49. There's other factors involved. So what you were probably doing when you were younger, depending on your sign, because a lot of things have to do with the signs where everything's aligned. So you could have been in Saturn back in certain ages. Other people are going to be affected by it in other ways. So what's going on now, it might affect the masses, but it will be perceived energetically differently for different people. So you're just becoming aware of certain things where other people are becoming aware of other things. It's not literally just about the physical, where a person says, I was very active. The word act gives away. When I was younger, I said, okay, well, who was younger? We come in with certain signs, and that will guide us in a lot of ways. It's just that we don't really go to seers anymore, or in tune within and find out I'm a potential seer, so I need to find so I can become an apprentice and all that kind of stuff. Again, people are trying to do this, trying to get different results with the same output. Form of insanity, obviously, but You know, so in this case, you know, your body's going to age, but in that aging, there's different signs that are going to play a role in all of that. You know, looking for other people that have very similarities, kind of an illusion. Because, you know, what are we similar with? The way we're communicating. Somebody's telling me this is what I did when I was 20 years old. I said, so now I have to engage in memory or imagination, because in this case, if I didn't experience what they said, now I have to engage in my imagination. So I could say I'm 50, but I'm actually 30. Again, that's a play on in one's head.
Yeah.
How does it serve at that point? How would that serve if somebody said, yeah, I can relate to you, Kim, but when I was younger, I'd watch a lot of movies. I said, but at the same time, why were movies brought out during that time? Again, we're in that age where a lot of things about the air. Just because we see it on the TV, but what's bringing that signal to it? Even though somebody could say, yeah, but I see a cable. Yeah, go to the cable. Where does it go? And then all of a sudden, there's a big gap between material to the unknown. You know, so something's giving us that ability to tap into the air, so we can actually do things called Wi-Fi. You know, what is nuclear energy? People like to talk about what they've been told it is, but what is it really? What is nuclear energy? Why do they have nuclear wars for it?
Sounds like nuclear.
Nuclear is another word. I don't even believe we have nuclear. That's me. I'm only about nuclear bombs, but that's another whole thing.
It's not Egypt. Maybe not. I'm overthinking it, but
Charles, you talked about earlier, spraying the skies, you know, cloud seeding. Again, everything will be manipulated in some way. How does it affect a lot of people? Not all people. How does it affect? For some people, depending on their blood type, their culture, their signs, it'll affect them more than others. For me, it favors me. I enjoy the air. So air being is my kind of thing. So whatever's up in the air, I'm going to tap into. A lot of other people, they might be very earthbound. So, you know, that's why some people have to do more grounding in this age, because there's going to be a polarity. There's going to be a pull to them. As we're using Wi-Fi, we're pulling a lot of information down. And for some people, they can't harness that. So that's why they have to ground, whether it's in the form of food.
And that's why a lot of passing away too, right? That's why we're losing lives because of that. That's
well, you know, again, Kimba, people have been booted out of their vessels always. You know, like, I find it interesting. People will talk about how wars creates a lot of death. I said, well, let's play with the idea that, let's say there's 7 billion people for 100 years. How do they all get removed? Wars only might take 100 million. Again, there's people, we're being booted out of these vessels for so many different things. It's just when it becomes to somebody's attention. My parents are aging. My parents are about to go. That's kind of like buying a white car and then realize, oh, there's a whole bunch of people that have white cars. It just tells how many people are self-absorbed. And now they're realizing, oh, wow, everybody has a car like me. Everybody's wearing the same clothes I'm wearing. No, you're just self-absorbed, because I can assure you there's other things going on that they're not aware of. So putting so much emphasis on a vessel that's been declared expendable from the day it got birthed. It's an aging process. You know, we're not leaving these, we're not going to take these vessels wherever we go now. That's where you have to entertain ideals. Is there somewhere else we go? Well, that would have to mean, are you even the vessel? This is how people get entrapped or anchored with this birth certificate game. That would imply that you think you're the vessel. And if a person says, I'm not the vessel, then why would I worry about the birth certificate? Why would I worry about Commerce Court? That's a loop. And people, whether they're doing it with awareness or not, they're anchoring others in the game. By that I mean they're not giving an opportunity to expand themselves and say, okay, so I can choose to be in the game, play all the different parts of the game, but with awareness. Yeah, if you have that capability. I can't just will, I want to be a trillionaire, let alone be a race car driver. That's when people start becoming disobedient to the system. But they're thinking they're fighting the system. No, you're just being disobedient to the system. The system has so many parts to it. And if it was solely concerned about one individual human being, okay. You know, we're indebted while we're in this system. You can treat indebted as a slavery or a very gratitude. Oh, thank you for bringing this technology to us. Will it harm you? Well, probably not me per se, but it will harm the vessel. We've been doing that way before I jumped into this one.
Yeah.
You know, the food that we manipulate. We might not, but we participate in it. The environment that we manipulate, the way how we treat animals, how we treat the plant kingdom. Well, I can't do nothing about it. I said, no, that's where the erroneous. You already are doing something about it. You're participating in it. You're just not directly the cause. It's a clever game that most people play, and even if they start playing with me, I said, you're wasting energy on me at this point. If you want to share, share. Making it about me is wasted energy, but they're revealing themselves to me at that moment. It's all about them. Well, if it's all about you, then why the fuck would you care about anybody else? Well, I don't. Then why the fuck are you making it about me? That's a clever boy at that point, or girl. They're not adults. They're pretending to be an adult. And I don't give a shit what diarrhea of the mouth they have and how many people they think they have following them. Because really, last time I remember, religion has billions of people following them. Could they easily be misled? Yes. Can they be altered? No, it'd be better off to do a self-journey. But it's still the system. If a person wants to be a Christian, be a Christian. You want to be a Muslim, be a Muslim. You want to be democracy, be a democracy. Be in it. Don't be of it.
Yeah. Go down there, doggies, go.
But by the way, Kimball, that's a suggestion. Be in it, but not of it. That's just a suggestion.
Yeah.
That's not a command.
Yeah.
Who might tell other people to do things like that. If you want to do that, that's fine. But if you're going to invade me in some way, I said, okay, so do you think harming me physical is karma? Fuck no, it's the thoughts. And if I remember who I am and who you are, then it's kind of like, then we're protected from each other when we're in these little fucking meat suits. Yes. Do you really want to play that game? I don't want to play that game. But other people think they do. They think they're being badass. I said, for what purpose? All bikers eventually move on from that vessel. All poor people remove from that vessel. All people that are born crippled are going to remove from that vessel. So those are what experiences at that point. This is not to their advantage or disadvantage. Just people that are crippled have way more advantage than people that are born into wealthy families. It's not the norm, but there is cases. So that means it's not 100% one way or the other. It's kind of on the theme, even though about long-winded words I'm saying. It's about some sort of craft. You can use the word witchcraft. We learning a language is a craft. And how you wield it.
All right, who needs their diaper changed? I'm just kidding. It's a bad joke. I couldn't help myself.
I do. Adult depends. I think I had diarrhea of the mouth.
Here we go.
There you go.
That's a good joke. I was just putting this up for my painting, but yeah, that's we all do, right? Yeah.
I got duct tape here just in case I can't close my mouth. I can just tape it. But you were trying to ask questions. I don't know if they were really directed towards me, Kimba. Those are probably questions that would benefit you, but you can share it out loud.
Well, yeah, when I'm just, anyone. Well, I forgot back originally what I was saying. See, I was so engrossed with listening to you. So, I'm trying to test myself over here. Normally by now, I'm pretty medicated, and I am not. So I went and got a massage yesterday, and let me tell you the power of the massage. Yeah, I know you know that power of the massage and all that. This lady rubs me on my back when I do the massage. Not like this. So she got knots out of my arms. She potentially stopped me from going to the emergency room because I'd strained my neck. And it pulled all up here and the side of my face. I told you about it, Charles. The side of my face was swollen. It was drooping a little. And I was over here because I already had 2 strokes during my anxiety attacks from my family chasing me down, So I'm pretty heated over here. So, you know, which is answering a lot of why I'm having to do and step my game up. And a lot of this is coming to mind, you know, why I have to do this. But when I went in there with her and I started telling her what was going on, she rubbed me out so good, which is why I feel like I'm running around today making just over my pain and all that. Get them all happy do da. She rubbed out knots on my arm, released stuff on my face and neck. And it just, again, it brought another level of awareness to me because I'm over here like so many people. If I went to the emergency room, they would have busted out like 3 or 4 tests on me. I would have been waiting. I would have been, you know, gaslit, and I would have been pissed, and I would have been in pain, you know, so because I use medical marijuana and they don't do that in hospitals. So my whole head had to wrap around that. And I was like, wow. And all she had to do was massage me. You know, just use the hands and do it. She's very good at it. And she's all aware of the trauma, the chakras, all that, the fascia on your body. That's why I love her. Been to her like 5 times. Now I'm going to go to acupuncture again. I did back when they did my carpal tunnel 7 years ago. Now I'm going to go back again. Have them do acupuncture on me. So, I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm feeling better over here. Because I feel like maybe my health might get somewhere. And do you want to know something I've been doing for a while too? And again, Charles, this will bring me back to like stuff you were asking before. Because I know for me, I want a lot of stuff to happen. A lot of stuff to be fixed, mainly within me. I'm not so worried about the system. The reason I'm not worried about it is because I have never been too worried about it. I feel like we meet social media craze and people have gotten this whole new awareness on what they're actually doing. And it's made people more pissed off. I believe in changing me so much. It's fundamentally life-changing for me. Like, I need it to save my life. Let me put it that way. And because I have that frame of mind, probably why I'm pulling off the things I do. I've been putting water in my singing bowl, hitting it with frequencies, speaking intentions into it. I'm doing all the stuff around here that would make me look batshit crazy to the normal folk. You know what I mean? Out here hugging trees, sitting on the ground, singing my mantras around the house, pinging my tuning fork behind my ear, putting on my chakras, pinging fork. All the breathing, all stretching, rubbing, all that. That makes me sit here and realize why a lot of people wouldn't even want to do it. Do you know how much hard work this is? It is hard. It's very hard. But for me, it's like I had to really want it. That brings me back to that word really, Dom. See? I had to really want it. I was in a state of mind, like I was over here like, well, something's going to happen or I'm going to be dead. Literally. That's what I was putting in my head. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is what I was saying.
So who would die?
I was at a point where I was like, something has got to change for me or I am going to lose my mind and my life via the system or my family. That's the threat I was under. It was so terrible here. I'm not trying to make this about me. I'm just sharing.
But it is. Be honest, but it is about you.
Okay.
Because I'm hearing words. Is there a difference between for you shift opposed to change? Change is constant. Are you willing to shift?
Damn, hold on. This neighbor just yelled. Scared the piss out of me. I'm sorry. Go on. Okay, go on, Tom. I'm sorry.
No, I'm hearing you say change.
Mm-hmm.
The word change opposed to the word shift. Because change is constant. There's always change going on. The air's always moving, the winds are moving, the sun's moving. So what shift are you going to have to do? I get it. You're going to go to somebody and they're going to do something like a massage on you without getting into what points are they actually massaging. Well, what shift do you need to do? Not want. What shift do you need to do? Because obviously you're refilling stress in you. Most people, when they make it all about themselves, whether they know it or not, are stressing themselves. Because the vessel has to occur all that information. So for you, when you're doing healing, this is where it goes back to when people become healers. What are you healing? Who are you healing? When are you healing? You know, most people say, I'll do a singing bowl. I say, okay, so where are the signs? You know, no different if they want to do primal screaming, or they want to play with energies, they want to do Reiki, or they want to do essential oils or crystals. When are you doing it? You know, everything is, we could use in our terminology, a very mathematical, very scientific. So you have to become aware of those things. And then you say, okay, I'm going to shift so that, you know, and I might have to fake it till I make it kind of ideal. You know, most people are the reason why they need to heal is because they've harmed themselves in some way. I gotta be a warrior. So then what are you going to be in the next lifespan? A healer? You know, who are you fighting? What are you fighting? You know, it sounds nice. It's always soothing. It goes down sweet, but it comes out bitter. But most people try to ignore that part. So am I truly healing the vessel, or am I harming the vessel? What do you mean? Some of it's not even for my awareness. In this case, the environment that I'm in, complaining about somebody else polluting the air. How does that serve you, to your body? Well, it's like a child that doesn't want to go to school. Okay, tell me when you're done. What do you mean? I don't want to go to school, Mom. Okay, tell me when you're done. Then they start crying. Tell me when you're done. Then they start bargaining. Tell me when you're done. Because you're still going to school because you're not of age yet. Those ages to understand things. Now, some children, if they're gifted, you have to become aware as that parent. Okay, this child is an old soul or whatever. Can't even say it's a soul, but it could be an old being that has chosen to come back in this form as a child and with more clarity than others. That's why wisdom is not based on age. Somebody tells me I'm wise because I'm a diabetic. I said, okay, so you just told me what not to do.
Right.
You know, but again, that could be a form of wisdom for people, discernment, meaning that what I choose to do or not do. You know, somebody that tells me a whole bunch of people put their hands on the stove, and I'm like, I don't really need to experience that. Guess who's the wise one at that point? Me. But they'll turn around and say, but I experienced it. I said, yeah, but after 20 years, come on, what are we really learning here? We're making it a sport now? Then you get some clever folks, well, I learned, no, I'm going to put my hands, I'll never hurt my hand again. I said, you got a frostbite the other day after that. And then you actually forgot to put cream on your hands and you got burnt hand in this because of the sun. So they're not really learning. They're participating, but they're not really learning. They're being programmed. And most of that program is done from within. So that's what I'm saying, to challenge words. You know, it's like challenging a symbol. So in this case, the word shift opposed to change. Are you shifting your awareness? You know, because I do hear the word constantly come out of your mouth. But I hope you're hearing yourself where you're saying the word want opposed to need. Do you need to heal the vessel or do you want to heal the vessel? Two different things going on at that point. Now somebody say, well, those that don't mean nothing. I said, but yeah, you're talking about healing. How we speak tells a lot about us.
Sorry, I'm looking something up.
I've been listening in. A lot of good information, wisdom. What are you cooking? Food? Simba? Nope, she's watering something. Yeah, people say it's complaints or victim role, but I say it's just expressing my observation.
Hey, sorry, I'm just rinsing something out over here.
And to me, speaking out against it is a better resistance than a physical form of resistance, you know?
Yeah, I get that, Charles. Complaints is a form of resistance, but then again, there's the other part. What are we attached to the system? You know, this is where people say, I don't agree with certain things. I said, but then what are the things you do agree with? You got to bring in that room, both of those scenarios if you're going to play the polarity game. It's like philosophizing. If you bring in your likes, you have to bring in your dislikes, unless you keep them both at the door. And then at that point, you're just going to be the observer. So if somebody's resisting the system, what are you attached to the system? As the person still driving cars and say, I don't agree with the elites, but you're driving cars that they're somehow managing and controlling. I don't like the fact that some people are trillionaires, but yet you like to play with money though. So again, I have to bring in that duality. I have to bring in the sweet with the sour, unless I leave them both at the door. But for me to experience the sweet, then I have to experience the sour. It doesn't have to be equal. It could be very slanted. I have way more negatives than I do positive, and vice versa. Now, when I use the word negative, I'm talking about what fuels the positive energy, the feminine fueling the masculine energy. Simple example of that is usually women are the ones privately that are running the household. And the men are the ones in public given the illusion, the play that, oh yeah, I'm the leader, yeah, in a public platform, yes. But privately, more times than not, it's the feminine energy. It could be a man too, still, playing with their feminine energy. Again, I'm just playing with words. Other people, they feel as though they need to defend words. I'm like, okay, so then you're the person that feels offended by words? So then how do we classify somebody that just got raped, opposed to me saying the word rape?
Let me tell you that I'm sorry, I was just squirting a hose down. I heard silence for a minute, so I'm gonna jump in there. Let me tell you that my body is so septic for me trying to detox stuff that even if I lay down and sit down like this long enough, I feel, oh my God, I feel the energy trying to get up my spine. I feel it. I'm so aware of my body, it isn't even funny. I feel it. I'm saying I'm over here. I feel something trying to get up my back, and I feel where it gets blocked. I feel it tries to come up because I have neck issues, and it tries to come out my arm. I feel where it gets blocked. So if I sit too long, I feel it start to get trapped in my elbows and my neck. That's why I got to get up and move around. But the detoxing thing is not a joke because even if I lay down on my bed for a little bit, I start to literally back up with fluids, like here all on my face, my ears. I even have fluids coming out. So this is not, that's why I'm over here. Like, I could see why I feel the way I feel, why I have to medicate at certain times. There's certain times I give myself a break because I'm over here like I want to be even more clear-minded and focused. And then when it's like, oh, okay, that's long enough. Like I did that with my mom yesterday for like 5 hours. I was like, that's enough. Then I would go in and smoke or take an edible. It's literally clogging up my body to where I'm even looking into all these exercises where you rub your face down and pull your ear, stuff like this. I'm even having fluid come out of my ear. I mean, this stuff is so serious, so it's a little frightening. Like for me, it's frightening. So I'll be laying down and I start to feel clog up. I'm like, get up, move around. Like that's what I was just doing now. And then the feelings and emotion. You have all these crazy feelings and emotion that are coming with it. So when that's going on, I'm over here like, I'll be angry 1 minute, then I'll be happy. Then I'll be like, like want to cry. Then I'm over here like, what are you crying for? I have to question myself. And then I flip my mood around a little. And I'm like, what's going on with you? I'm trying to figure it all out. It's the energy. I figured out for me, it's my energy trying to come up. And it's squishing my spine. My spine's already squishy. So when I get up and move around, all that pain be gone. I don't know if the body's been dormant too long or whatever. So energy work, that shit, it's not a joke. I'm not gonna lie.
So Kimba,
The things I've done, trying to practice the energy ball, I've even pulled energy off my body with my hand. I've even used my hand and imagined it and pulled it off like it was a big ball that I need to get rid of, and actually felt it. I actually felt as I pulled it and moved it out. This is magical.
So Kimba,
Yeah.
inquiry. When you're doing gels, I think that's what you're saying, and smoking, what are you trying to relieve from? Because actually, that's probably going backwards for you at that point.
I believe my body's going into protection mode because
Okay.
yeah, you know, like it starts to protect me because I've gone deep for like 5 hours with thinking, the emotions. It brings on the body pain. So it's like I need that release, you know? So,
Okay.
Dom, you were even on the stream with me one time, and I was sitting there testing myself. Right, I didn't want to smoke or nothing. I wanted to take it in, and then when I had a point where I was like, okay, this is enough, overwhelming, and I picked up exactly when I did it, like right exactly when I did it. I had my pen sitting right next to me, and then I reached over and grabbed it and picked it up, and I was even aware of that little move, and I was like, oh, you just picked it up and grabbed it. I was like, okay, that means you're enough. That's enough. You're done. It's overboard. You know, like you've done. Now you want to let your body, and that I'm trying to get to that point too, where I don't go grabbing stuff. You know, where I'm
Okay.
able to just
So
let it
when
sink
you,
and go there. You
okay.
know.
So this is where the term recovery, people just look at some extremities, such as alcoholics. So when you're doing the gels, you're doing your weed, you're doing your smoking, you're probably trying to do some temporary thing, like you said, to protect something. Again, then that plays, what are you protecting, let alone attacking? When are you going to purge those things out of your vessel? Because your vessel's feeling it and it's trying to tell you something. It said, okay, I protected you for a while, but the fact that you couldn't handle it, so you started eating. This is why fasting plays a role. This is why people have to purge from weed and all that, because those are giving you a little glimpse, a little protection. It's like putting on a little vessel, but eventually you're going to be carrying that vessel and then wonder who's harming me at that point, you. So you have to learn to purge if you choose to. If not, then it's this perpetual cycle over and over again. I get it. People want to alter their brain. I don't care if it's ayahuasca, hemp, food, alcohol, but then you're going to recover. What are you covering up? What emotion is not developed? Now, for some people, it's their mental capacity. So they're going to be upset because I was talking to my dad or my mom. I said, that tells a lot about oneself, that I cannot sit there long enough to hear another human being, or I'm having a difficult time because I'm too busy judging the situation. That tells you that person is not balanced and they're harming themselves. I don't give a shit if people have diarrhea of the mouth or fucking, they can write fucking poetry.
Wait, Dom, you said undeveloped.
Underdeveloped.
You don't mean like unhealed feelings?
They're underdeveloped.
It's undeveloped.
It's kind of like when somebody says they care or don't care. The fact that person has to say those things, that they don't know how to care. Because if you truly do care, you don't have to emphasize by saying the word.
Exactly.
So in this case, most people, when they're being triggered, they're revealing they're underdeveloped. Now they might turn around and say, "Don't, I don't like the things that they said. It was very negative." I said, "That's not where your trigger came from. Is when I complimented you a long time ago. Instead of just saying thank you, you said, 'Oh yeah, I put a lot of effort.' I said, there's your trigger." Now,
Exactly.
if I say
Insecurity. That's insecurity.
it could be insecurity, but most people mask it with this false sense of security. Now, I have my insecurities. I just don't need to share it out loud. I said, because I know myself enough to have discernment on a public platform. I'm going to give a private conversation. That's wasted energy for me, especially if I get in one of my little moods. I'll fucking go upside and downside of it when I'm in front of somebody else. And if I turn that towards somebody else, they're going to say, well, I said, listen, if you've never revolted against yourself, you've never abused yourself, get the fuck out of my face. That's a child talking at that point. And I have to come to that child state to communicate with other people. Now, again, how does that serve me? It doesn't, because that always comes back to me. It said, oh, I don't want that gift. That gift was always coming back to me anyway. So, and again, that's where people have to evaluate for themselves. Yeah, sure, you can evaluate yourself around a bunch of children that aren't developed yet and say, well, I'm aware. Based on what? We could be comparing ourselves with a bunch of people that are broken. Just some people know how to have a language with it. That doesn't serve if you're thinking about doing a community. That's why it's better off know thyself first. Because whoever the knower is and whoever the self is, you might come to the awareness, those are just programs. So once you realize that, when people start playing in singing bowls, for example, you like to play with singing bowls. There's different variations of singing bowls. There's different kinds of elements you can use, crystals, gold, if you can afford it. It's the directions of the singing bowl. Same with reading tarot cards or oracle cards. Depends when you read them, for what intent. Most people go to these things because it's all about them. What do you see me in 5 years? I don't see nothing. What do you mean? Because you're going to be either doing the same thing over and over again, so you haven't made a shift, or you no longer exist in this realm. So how does that serve you at that point? Well, that's not what I came for. I said, then why didn't you lead with that? Most people already know their simple fucking inquiry. They already know their answers. So they're not really looking to expand their awareness. They're trying to confirm their awareness, which is fine. I say that with all sincerity. It's fine. But be honest with the self. When people start talking about the truth, I'm like, okay, so then what is the deception? You should be able to know what a deception is. If you're talking on behalf of the energy called truth, well, Dominic, I never heard that before. Okay, then what the fuck have you been parroting the whole time? And I'm offending a poor parrot. That's what reading does. It teaches you how to parrot information. It's factual. How is it factual if you've never experienced it or observed it? Well, I'm just saying somebody else told me. I said, well, that doesn't serve you. This is me just talking out loud. I try to be very vague and all that, but most people are going to say it's all about me. I said, you're just revealing. I never said your name, but you think it's all about you, which it should be. But revealing your cards on a public platform is a really weak position to be in because it doesn't serve you. Everything else, other people that are around you say, fuck, I have to tippy-toe now, and I got to use a thing called politeness. Politeness is usually just a way of either protecting one's emotions or trying to assist other people because you don't want to disturb them. Poor me, poor me. Okay, so then if it's poor you, when are you going to start growing with that me? When are you going to enrich in that? Well, I'm struggling. I said, well, that's a given for most of us. We're in these forms, and most of us aren't doing our due diligence and stewarding it correctly, meaning that we're going to grow our own crops, raise our own animals, treat that animal with all love and care until the time we actually have to remove it. And are you designed to eat wild game, domestic game? Fruits and vegetables. Now, at this point, it's diarrhea to the mouth for most people, what I'm sharing, because they really haven't done the work. They've done the regurgitating, and I'm doing it right now.
That's funny. Yeah, when
I
you're
got to
talking
jump in
about
here. I got to jump off here in a couple minutes.
Yeah, go ahead, Charles.
good stuff, Dom. Good stuff.
Yeah, Dom, it is true. A lot of people engage in a lot of things for self. Even me.
Gage,
I
when
see
not.
myself when he said that.
Yeah, exactly. Same here. Now, at that point, Dom was cooking. There you go. You were cooking, Dom. It didn't have to be a food. Your thoughts were cooking.
I thought I was being diarrhea of the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I have to buy adult pants.
Yeah,
today.
no, yeah, again, no, and maybe other perceptions, but no.
Those are mine. Those are mine.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
That's what I call noise for me.
Yeah.
Because I know
sometimes I don't even realize that when I'm doing stuff that it's about me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Should be about you, but is it a healthy you? You know what I mean? Like proving points about oneself to other people. How does that serve? If you're true about yourself, then no matter what somebody says, positive or negative, likes or dislikes, you should be able to show for yourself that you stay true. Now, somebody can be clever and say, I'm going to give the external view that I'm actually true. I said, but I read energy. You're not true. You're full of shit. You're just not honest with you. And now people will get offended. So what do you mean by shit? I said, well, if you're going to plant seed, you need good fertilizer. And who better to be a fertilizer than your own shit? Now, they might get upset again with me. I said, so then you haven't done your own work. I'm giving people way too much of benefit of the doubt. They did their own fucking work. And telling you went to university means fuck all to me, especially if we're going to have a conversation privately. I said, okay, so let's put it on the table. Who values university? I don't. So then when you're talking for you, not me. To me, that's just another degree. Even if a person says to me, Dominic, I'm a Mason, 33 degrees. Okay, what does that mean to you? Why? Because to me, it means fuck all. So at least we have clarity. So when they start telling me shit like, well, Dominic, do you agree with that? I said, I already told you my stance. I don't value that shit. But I'll still hear them. But I'm always listening from within. Listen to the words I'm saying. I'm always going to hear other people. That's what respect is for me. But agreeing or disagreeing with them, that's about me now. And what would I be agreeing upon? Because it sounds nice? Well, Dom, I've experienced the same thing. No, you haven't. You haven't experienced my fucking lifespan. You're better off sharing what you've shared. It's always going to be about you. But when people start congregating together and culting up, I said, so how do you get a whole bunch of people that don't realize you never live your vessel? So then how do we truly cult it up? Are we culting up based on the language? And even that, are we speaking like everybody else's language throughout the earth? No. Am I using it the same way as you? I have a different tonality than you. I have a different blood type than some people. I'm in a different form, different gender, different color of skin. So what the fuck are we similar then? We could be, but are we willing to have those breakdowns? Are we willing to have those details opposed to that clear-cut fucking answers and questions? That's fucking so narrow-minded. Listen to the word narrow-minded, because you can tap into the mind and get all kinds of energy from it. Now, if they want to call it a demon and angel, yeah, fill your fucking boots. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it a demon, you can call it Damon, you can call it Lucifer, you can call it Jesus Christ. You can call it whatever word you want. I'll hear you out. But the first time they challenged me, I said it would be better served to challenge yourself. But then people wonder why we're always being entertained. I'll entertain ideals. I'll amuse myself with others, but that's not my role. And if people want to be amused by me, that's no problem too. But I get it. We've already been conditioned to be entertained. I watch TV. I watch movies. They're at least getting paid for it. People value the concept of fiat currency. But people are quickly to say, shit, well, I don't agree with fiat currency. Okay, that may be so, but how does it work? Because there's a lot of people working for it. And it's not for me to condemn them by saying that's bad. How does it work? Who does it serve? Son, I would like to take you to school. You know, I don't agree with the system, but I can't afford a car. Why, Dad? It's because I don't agree with fiat currency. Well, then how do I get the clothes? Well, son, I agree with stealing. Oh, okay. So you condemn one, but you do another. That's interesting. I don't get caught up in that stuff. I don't mind talking about it, but I don't get caught up in it. But other people do.
Dom, you said that word challenge. I think that's a big thing. I think a lot of humanity, I know for me, I'm going to say for me, I am now. But for so long, I didn't challenge myself enough, you know? And if you're not challenging yourself, I'm like, for me, I'm not getting nowhere, you know? And as a collective, the challenge, that word stuck out, challenging yourself to, you know.
Well, that's the example we are. You can appreciate somebody if you're challenging to see an Olympic person challenging himself or her to be the best they can be at their craft. And that they're honest with themselves and said, I might be the best for me, and I might meet somebody else that might be my adversary. In this case, somebody that can run just as good as me. So we're going to help each other be better. And if I end up winning or losing, rationally selfish, I'm going to say, well done. Can you tell me what you did better this time? I learned how to challenge myself to be a better breather. Again, we do that in so many different ways, but then we warp it by thinking it should be all about envy and competition. Dare not have a conversation with somebody else with another diarrhea of the mouth, and they try and say, well, I don't agree with you. Why? Because you're envious the way I talk. Get the fuck out of here with that noise. Share what you have to share and let it be. But if you're looking for questions and answers, put that out on the table so I can turn around and say, listen, I'm not interested in those games. But if you are, I'll gladly hear you, and I'll go back and do what I enjoy doing the best. I'll go in a state of silence.
So, Charles, what are you going to be doing when you're getting off here? Are you going to eat? Is that what you're going to be doing?
Yeah.
You're going to be eating, my friend. What time is it? Oh, 10:51. See, I got a lot done today. I'm so proud of myself already. I'm going to eat too. Gotta eat. Yeah, Dom, you got a very powerful mind there.
Anyway. I was writing something in the chat. I don't know how that happened, but it didn't let me finish writing. It just
kicked you out. Oh.
It was supposed to say it was a great beginning of the day, but it didn't let me finish. Yeah, I gotta go cook and do a bunch of stuff I don't want to do, but unfortunately I have to, so I might as well attack it and get it over with.
Conquer the day, Charles. Conquer the day.
Yeah. It's 100 degrees. I'm stoned.
Oh, 100 degrees. Oh, yeah, you guys got it hotter there. We actually have it breezy here, so it's nice. And I'm hearing a donkey off in the distance. I don't like that. That's weird.
It's Joe Biden. He wandered off.
No, it made me feel like you're talking, and I hear a noise from a jackass over there in the distance. So I'm like, that's not nice.
Yeah, that's good old
Yeah.
Joe. He wandered off from the White House.
Can I share some, guys, before you guys shut it down?
Yeah.
We say words like I am, and then we put things after it. I am an electrician. I am 50 years old. I am plumber. That's part of the witchcraft. Because they're not challenged that and said, I'm not the vessel. So then what am I talking about when I'm saying I'm 50 years old? The vessel's 50 years old. Because then you have to inquire, then who's speaking? That's when you start going into that inquiry. Now, somebody could say, yeah, well, then I'm the body then. I said, okay, then again, who's speaking? And who runs it when you're communicating with me? Like right now, who's running the liquids in Kimba's and Charles and Dominic's vessel? That's a question. And then if you go into a state of silence, something might turn around and say, you're not ready for that. Why? Because it would harm your paradigm. For a lot of people, they're not willing to do that. But because this is being recorded, I have no qualms of talking this way. If this wasn't being recorded, then I'd say, okay, why would I be on a public platform? I'd rather just talk about this privately, because I realize in a short period of time, the people that I'm around, are they interested in this information? It's not because, oh, this is my first trick pony here. I've talked to hundreds of people, and I get a lot of similar reactions. And it's kind of like, oh, that sounds interesting. I said, yes, but is it challenging your program? No, it's not. So then that's why when most people communicate with each other in these panels, it's reinforcing their programs. That's why you have to get into your feminine energy, your teachable energy, to break those programs or at least challenge them at that point. So again, so when people say things, how old are you? And you quickly say, I'm 7 years old. What's your sign? I'm a Virgo. What else? I'm a plumber. I'm a parent. Those are all programs. That's the indoctrination going on.
Terms, yeah, the words, the terms, yeah.
Again,
You know
that's
that. Okay, let me just say this real quick. I have to, Charles, I'm so sorry, I have to. That would make sense to me, like why when I've had jobs in the past, one of my biggest things is I couldn't get over the questions when they'd say, what do you have to offer this job? You know, like the psychological questions, I would say. What do you feel you can offer us? Or what are your strengths and your weaknesses? That's when I would fail at my interviews because I didn't have the confidence in me. And you just reminded me only that I didn't know the words to say. Not even being aware back then of the English language. The words I was over here like, well, I'm good. You know, they didn't come into play for me. None of them made sense to me because in my mind, I'm over here like, well, you know, like my deep thinking over here. Well, to know, you know, I'd have to break out. And to me, I'd break out into like some kind of script or lecture to the person. Well, you'd have to get to know me to see. But to use these words they bestowed upon us and gave us, they didn't match me. And that's why a lot of times I would fail an interview or wouldn't get the job. Because when they get me at that question, I'd be like, you know, tongue tied. Because I'd be like, and I'm thinking, you want me to be honest, man? Because I need money. Me downright honest, I just need money. And I'm here to work. Do you need to see, I'd be too blunt. And then there would go. I wouldn't do that little compliance because you know, whatever, because I'm a good worker and I know this and I know that, and I would go into my true blunt self because I need money. That's what we're here for. And I'm a reliable, hard worker. And what? Do you want to hire me or not? See? And that's okay.
But, Kimbo, what I've learned is you kind of have to, you got to be the interviewer. So in this case, if you know you need money. Let's play with the word need. You need money. Okay, so then what are you willing to offer? Then you can turn the table on them. I said, so what do you need and what are you going to offer me? This is where you have a relationship now. But for a lot of people, they go into these interviews thinking that I have to tell them what they want to hear. I said, then you're not being you. It's like going on a date with somebody. You know, I get it. Guys will go on a date and they'll tell them what they think that the norm should be. Go to a restaurant. No, what do you really want to do? Well, I want to go watch a soccer game. I said, well, that's what you're going to invite your girlfriend to go watch. Now, if she says no, I said, well, then it works both ways. If you ever want to go see her play, then how does that work? So you have to lead with your foot. So for you, as it sounds like you're going to hopefully open up your chakra, your throat chakra, you're going to be more honest with the self. You can't be honest with others if you're not honest with yourself. So if you know at that moment, it's for you to judge, nobody else, how you perceive money. I need money. You don't have to go around explaining everything, but if you chose to, you'd hope so. Okay, I told you what I need. What do you need as the owner of the company? Or in this case, the human resources. What do you need? Well, that's a weird question. I said, because you've never had those kind of fucking questions given to you. You're going to try to help elevate the company. Most people work at a company realizing either A, they've been at a company that they had no potential of growing, or they've already been outgrown. And so you're just going through the motions. That's why most people settle for things like money and prestige, opposed to challenging those things for yourself. What do you need? And of course, you could even ask, if you share out loud, I need money because it can better help me, it can help my parents, it can help my kids and all that kind of stuff. And then you can even break it down into more details. So I can send my kids to the best school. Somebody could turn around and say, well, Dominic, I don't agree with schooling system. Well, that's your view. That's nice. But I'm telling you about me. That's why when you do it on a public platform, it's very challenging because you got way too many people yapping. It's like having an in-depth conversation with the person at a restaurant with fucking thousands of people that are hundreds.
Yes, thank you.
And eventually, the only people that are going to succeed in those kind of conversations are the people that just want to talk out loud. They don't even want to hear themselves. Because if I truly turn around and say, do I even need to be here in this conversation? Well, not really, Dominic. Well, then I'll remove myself. But if they don't turn and say, well, you need to be here, I said, so are we going to engage with each other? Because I don't mind, like I said, hearing other people. I enjoy hearing other people. That's why I can spend hours listening to podcasts. I enjoy that kind of stuff. But for other people, that's of no interest to them. So yeah, I'm bored. I have nothing else to do with my life, and I really can't go to the restaurant and lose myself. Most people are trying to lose themselves in these communities. And you can hear the way they talk. The way they rip into other people, the foul language they use. I said, do you truly know that individual? No. So then why would you say that out loud in front of everybody else? Especially when most people don't realize how the heart is so easily impressible. Sorry, I'm using the wrong word, but your heart is desires. It loves, or it becomes entrained to backbiting. If the person's not on panel or on chat, why would you be talking about them?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Let alone whoever they are. Because if there's a they, I don't care if it's the World Bank, the Illuminatis, the Skull and Bones, they're not here. So then why do people talk about them? Because what they want to do is they want to throw eggs at somebody and hope nobody catches them. Well, okay. So how does it serve you talking about Donald Trump? I don't know. But then that's why people get so confused. And they say, well, there's a whole bunch of us talking about it. Yeah, you all could be a bunch of, insincere human beings. Yapping for the sake of yapping and finger pointing, but they're not somebody like I'm just using it as a pure example. I'm being this hypocrite in this moment of talking about somebody else not here, but we'll play with the name. If that person offered you $1 million, would you say favorable things about them? And if the person says no, I said, okay, then you're being true. But the ones that aren't and say, I would start saying things. I said, now you understand hypocrisy. You say one thing one way and you do another thing another way. Which one is truly you? I'm faking it until I make it kind of bullshit going on with me. But other people, are they being honest? Oh, I'm a Christian. Okay, whatever. Have you developed your intellect and fully matured your emotions? Because you're not doing Christ consciousness, but you're using the word Christ like people use the word God in vain. Leave those entities alone. Deal with human matters or human beings matters. Be concerned about what we're doing here. Praising something that you can't understand is a waste of energy. Praise each other. But again, people are going to do what they're going to do, and they're also going to say what they're going to say. That's their choice. They can have whatever. They can fill their boots. It's when people start culting up with each other that becomes humorous as the observer. So how does that serve them all? Joining a certain panel and complaining about each other and ripping into somebody else. How does that serve? It does serve, but that's for them to figure out. Anyway, went on again. Diarrhea. Jeez, I'm going to have to actually get some soap. Jeez, I hate said the word jeez. Anyway, love you guys.
You're good, Dominic. I could sit there and listen. I like it. Okay, how you doing, other Charles? That was nice. I like listening.
That was a good way to end it.
Right?
I feel lazy.
Do you?
I don't want to do nothing, but I got to get my ass up.
I'm feeling that way a little bit now, but
Yeah, I just walked to the store. It's fucking hot.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the mother in me, the woman in me. I don't know what it is, or just what I've been doing, but probably because of that right there, I'm answering it. That no matter what's going on, when I got to get up and go, I got to go. And I've also reached a point where even if I'm sitting there and I'm lazy, like right now, I get bored real quick. And even in that laziness, I get bored, and then I'm like, cha-ching! Gotta get up and move and do something. We can energize the running over here. That's why I'm doing all that weird energy work, because it's like, no, like my batteries are never gonna run out. And honestly, it drives me crazy because I'm not used to it. And it's like I want to sit and relax, and I sit and relax, and then I hurt. I feel like my body's got a switch. Like someone flipped a switch one day and said, "Guess what, Kim? You're not going to sit long, and you're not going to be able to run around long. But we're going to keep you on the in between stage, just to drive you crazy." That's how it feels. Sit too long, got to get up. Move too long, got to sit down. Sit down too long, I hurt. Got to get back up. So I'm over here like a damn pendulum, and it's freaking
Kimba, most women
pendulum.
most women have more pain receptors than men. So if you ever be able to get a hold of that and heal quite a few ailments that you probably have. So,
A what? What was that?
If you ever have a chance to, like, heal a lot of that and get a handle on that, because obviously.
What did you say? Oh, the thing, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, if you guys want to stay on, I could leave you to the talk, but I'm about to jump off.
Oh no, we're gonna go. Just okay.
What I was going to leave on that is, if down the road you feel pulled to a concept of a 10-day or 3-day silent retreat, those things called Vipassana. It's about a diet change. It also teaches people how to be in silence. This way you can see all that noise that's going on as you're saying, I got to do things. That's where the silent has a tough time, because people feel as though they need to be active. Now, some signs are more active than other signs. Aries are very active. Taurus are very active.
Capricorns are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep that in mind. That's also keep in mind.
Okay.
Or, not to say you have to do it, but but I'm also hearing the fact that your body's probably needing healing of some sort.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tom. All right. Thank you, Charles.
Yeah. Thanks, Charles.
Have a good day, chats.
You too. Thank you, Dom. And Kimba, I appreciate both of you.
Have a good day. All right. Take it easy. Stay cool. Like a wet towel around your neck when you're walking. Or a wet towel around your neck. That's what I would do. All right, buddy.
All right. Peace to the chat. And thanks again to Kimba and Dom, man. I really appreciate when you two come up. And I'm out. Have a great day. And like Kimba said, stay cool. Because it's very hot. I'm out. Salute.